My name is Brian Meter, and I will be your instructor for this class. And I have a great little folder here where you can learn more about me in the Meet Your Instructor folder. There's a video in there that you can watch. So I won't go into a lot of details right now on myself, but this is my first year at Western, and I'm very excited to be here. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to start and click on the Start Here folder. All right. In this folder, you will learn a little bit about what the course looks like and all that good stuff. So we're going to take a peek at the syllabus and go over just a few things there real quick. All right. And you need to do this. You need to go through the syllabus, and then you need to check off that you've read it. That's one of your assignments for the very first week. But we're just going to talk about a few things that are kind of important that I want to emphasize. The first one being is how to reach me. The absolute best way to reach me is through my email. I am very good about getting back to people in a very timely fashion through email. So if you can connect with me that way, that'll probably be the best way to do it. This just goes into some details about the class and then the textbook, and we'll talk a little bit more about the textbook as we get a little bit further on. It is a free textbook, and it's all online, so there should be no issues with you being able to access that as long as you have a good internet connection. Grading for this course is all the same as any of your other courses. As far as getting your assignments turned in on time, it's really important that you do that for two reasons. First of all, you don't want to get behind. This class is 7 weeks long. And if you do get behind, it's kind of hard to come back a little bit. Just be honest with you there. But also for me, I have 100 students this fall that I'm teaching. And if I have someone that is way behind, or several students are, at the end of the year, I get bombarded with assignments. And so I'm not always able to grade those in a timely fashion and get a much attention as I need to each one of those assignments. So that if you stay, on time with your assignments, it certainly helps me out quite a bit. This is totally an online course, so being interactive with your fellow classmates is really important. And kind of what the class is all about is finding your place and working well with others and all those kind of things. So if you do participate in a timely fashion, it really helps everybody else out as well. There's more things in here that you can take a look at. I will talk a little bit about AI and how that affects our class. So, hey, I'm an AI user and I love it. I use it as a tool to make my life as an instructor a lot more efficient. I use it to help me create a more entertaining and exciting classroom experience. And I do expect you to use it. Just follow our policies and do it the right way. It's a great way to help with the creative. It's a great way to clean up your sentence writing. Where I don't like students using AI is when there is an assignment that is due. The student has a choice of like what business to select. They Google it, and everybody submits the same assignment. They submit whatever was the first that popped up on the Google search, and then they use AI to kind of create their assignment. That's not the point of us using AI in an academic setting. The point of using it in an academic setting is it's great for sentence structure, clean up your writing, and those sort of things. And it's great for idea generation. Like I use it in my classroom activities. I use it in when I do grading, and the way I do that is when I write feedback to my students. Oftentimes I'll use AI to make sure it's clean and looks good. I'm doing it in a lot of, like I said, about 100 students. If I got 100 papers in a week, it can help me be a little bit more efficient. I don't use it to grade your material. I will use it to clean up my sentence structure when I'm sending you feedback. So it's a good tool if you know how to use it. It's dangerous if you don't, and it's pretty obvious when you are because everything looks the same. So if you're using in the wrong way, that is. So attendance in this, you're encouraged to attend every face-to-face. It's not a face-to-face; it's a virtual session. But again, if you get behind, what's the point? You're going to fall way behind, and you're going to struggle with passing the class. If you have any accommodations that you need based on you're sick or you need extra time and test or anything like that, you need to let me know. I'm here to help, and I'm not a stickler about attendance, but I know how important it is. I mean, you're paying money to be here, and if you want your experience to be the best that it possibly can, then I would highly recommend that you pay attention and show up as much as you possibly can. Okay, so that's my little bit on the syllabus. All right. Here's the meet your instructor piece. It just again, it has some information about me and my background, how to use Blackboard, and all these other good things. I'll let you go through those. You guys can read all that on your own. We have a really cool source here I want to make you all aware of, and it's called the Western Transfer Hub. And we have agreements with several colleges around the state and even outside of the state, where we have agreements where you can transfer there and your credits transfer. So this is a great hub for you to get started if you're thinking about a four-year college. Okay, questions, let me know. Little info about how to attach a Blackboard assignment. Don't send me links to assignments. Submit the assignment as it's asked. And sometimes it'll have you fill out a template. Don't send me a link to a template. Just use that template, fill it out, and then attach it to the assignment. All right. So in week one, we talk, the content really gets into, how to get along in an organization. We deal with emotional intelligence and growth mindset. It's really cool information to read through there. And I expect you to go through and read each one of these. I'm going to click into chapter 1, and this is our a link to our OER textbook, which is an open source free textbook that goes over all these wonderful things of organizational behavior, the nature of work, the changing workplace, the kind of the environment, all those good things. So go ahead and read through that. Heading back over here, I think I missed one point I wanted you to look at. Let's see, there's summary of expectations, right? Okay, so here's what you need to do for the week, right? And then the guiding questions. All right. And these are some really important factors to help kick off this week. What is the nature of work, or why is the nature of work significant within an organization? What are the common responsibilities of managers? What are the current challenges that managers face? What does it mean to have a growth mindset? How do effective business communication skills differ from those that are ineffective? Okay. Awesome. So we're going to keep on rolling through this. We're going to get down to fixed mindset versus growth mindset. So this is one of the last things you're going to review. There's a PDF to open there. And, the growth mindset is, I hope you all have that. You're here because you're trying to get better as a student. You're trying to better your career and learn. And that growth mindset is a little bit like this. I like this performance versus learning goals perspective, right? So a student that is about performance isn't necessarily going through the class to expand their mindset, to grow and learn. They're more there about how can I perform the best, right? So they're going to test well in the assessments, but they might not really expand their knowledge as much as someone who has a learning mindset. Like, how can I learn more? What are some of the things about the content that we're learning that most students wouldn't ask, because they're thinking about, well, I just need to learn this for a test rather than, learn it to become a better person, become a better, employee, and maybe a better entrepreneur or whatever. So I love this content, and you take your time when you read through it. Okay. So we're going to get into the first part. which I kind of take my lecture materials and like, so if you had me in a face-to-face, you would see some of these lecture materials a little bit more. In the online, there's a little bit more self-guidance, right? So I took my content, and this is one of the ways that I did, I use AI as a tool, right? So I took the content from my class and I used Notebook LM to create a learning module, an explainer video for this week. And so I want you to watch it. It's about a 6 or 7 minute video, and it covers a lot of the content. It does it in a very nice, enjoyable fashion, and you'll be able to read through that. I'm sorry, watch through that, and it'll help you with the rest of the class. Some of it you might see further on down the road. Okay. Um, so here's the last little piece that's important is our due dates. So our due dates for this class are posted here, okay? And you need to pay special attention to those. So when I open up the class, when I open up the week, I'll try to give you a week ahead of time in order to access the material and start your learning. So all of these assignments for week 1 are due next week. So they're due the first week of class, and you can go to each one of them and see what's going on. So the first one is just to review the syllabus and write that or check that you reviewed the syllabus. The second one is the discussion board. Okay, so in the discussion board, what you'll do is you'll introduce yourself, right? You'll use these prompts to introduce yourself, and you'll start a new thread with that. And then you need to respond to at least 2 of your peers. Within your response, post comments of what you found most interesting about your peers' posts and what you might have in common. Here's the other key thing. If a student already has 2 responses, move on. Go to a different classmate and that doesn't already have 2 responses. Otherwise, we might have one classmate with 12 responses and one with just 1. So we want to get to know everybody in our classroom, and this is a great way to do it. Okay. Let's see. The last thing about this week is that you have an assignment that is a quiz. It is worth 25 points. And here is that due date. All right. If you have any questions, please reach out to me as soon as possible. Don't let anything slip until week 6 or week 7. Get ahead of things, get it done, and I think you'll have a great 7-week term here. I'm looking very forward to getting to know all of you, and thank you for tuning in to my video.